In our last video, we covered 3 types of CSAK. Today, I'm going to be showing you the final 2, and more importantly, how to know when a CSAK is valid and when it is invalid. Okay, so let's dive in. Welcome back to the channel. If you are serious about sniper trading and understanding how the market moves, you are in the right place. In our previous video, we broke down 3 types of CSAK that appeared in market structure. I'm going to drop the link, so you click on the link to watch the previous video, because I'm not going to start explaining that all over again. Okay, so you go back to the link and watch it. So if you did not watch it, you go back and watch the first 3, and then you can come back and watch the remaining 2. Okay, I'm going to show you, but today we'll be completing the picture. I'm going to show you the remaining 2 types of CSAK, and more importantly, when a CSAK is valid and when it is not valid, and how to avoid getting trapped by fake market structure. Okay, so let's dive in and start. What is CSAK4? CSAK4 and 5 is the remaining one I want to talk about. Number 1, the actually reversal trend. Once you see a CSAK4 and 5 on a higher time frame, from 4 hours time frame, 1 day time frame, and weekly time frame, it means that trend has reversed. You see it on 1 hour, it's not a reversal trend. You see it on 30 minutes, it's not a reversal trend. You see it on 15 minutes, 5 minutes, and the rest is not a reversal trend. Okay, but if you see it on 4 hours, 1 day, 1 week, 1 month, it means that trend has reversed. It's no longer in a bullish market, it's now in a bearish market, and vice versa. If you see it on a weekly, if it's for a buy, you see it, and you see it on a weekly for a buy, it means that trend has changed totally to a buy. So CSAK 4 and 5 is actually meant for swing trading. Once you see them, I'm going to show you different examples. Once you see them happen on H4, D1, W1, they are swing trades. They are going to give you very good risk to reward if you can swing. Okay, they are going to give you very good risk to reward if you can swing. I'm going to show you an example. If you see them on from 1 hour downward, it's not a reversal. It's actually not a reversal at all. Now, not every CSAK should be traded. Some are high probability confirmation and others are liquidity trap designed to take your stop loss. Once you understand the difference, your entry becomes way more precise. Okay, now let's dive in so I can explain CSAK4. CSAK4 happens when the price breaks moving average. Okay, before we start, you know I use BBMM, trading BBMM. This is my indicator I use. I'm the one that created this indicator. If you search for it, you will see it, so you can add it to your chart and be using it. Okay, it has EMA 200 and 800. So if you know how to trade them, it will be okay by you. Okay, so let's dive in. So what do we say? When does CSAK4 occur? Okay, so I'll write it down. CSAK4 happens. It happens when price breaks. When price breaks moving average, which is the moving average. Okay, 5 and 10 breaks moving average 5 and 10. It breaks the mid BD and also EMA 50. CSAK4 happens. When price breaks the moving average 5 and 10, breaks the mid BB and also the EMA 50. So let's look for an example and then see what happened thereafter. Okay, this is 4 hours time frame on gold. This is 4 hour time frame on gold. Now this was at the extreme. This is not extreme here. The price is going to break EMA. Price came touched here and rejected. Okay, this is the mid BB and this is my moving. The blue is my EMA 50. This is my mid BB. The two reds are EMA. Is the moving average 5 and 10, and my two greens are moving average 5 and 10 low. The two reds are moving average 5 and 10 high. Now see this price that's touched here and rejected, and this particular one it broke all of them here. So this is an example of CSAK4 for a sell, and this is happening on 4 hours time frame. Okay, price touched here, rejected, broke 50 moving average, broke the mid BB, and then it broke also, or it breaks both the up and the low ones, broke the high and the low of the moving average and closed below it. Once you see something like this is CSAK4. Now this is the re-entry on the CSAK4. Once price comes back for a re-entry, you sell it. Okay, once price comes back for a re-entry here, this is your re-entry, you sell it. So this is an example of CSAK. This is an example of CSAK4. So it shows there is a trend reversal, and as you can see, price kept selling down. Okay, you can see that price kept selling down. Let's go to 1 hour and see what happened on 1 hour. What happened on 1 hour? The whole of that place. What happened on 1 hour? It broke, it rejected. There was an MHV. This is an MHV here that occurred here, and then price broke the same thing, and then even close here below the low BB. So on a smaller time frame, it will add additional stuff on it. Here it broke and closed below the low BB. So this is also a confirmation that price is going to continue going down. That's an example of a sell. Let's see if you can see an example of a buy as well. Let's see if you can see an example of a buy, but I doubt because of the way this is. Okay, let's see. Okay, this should be an example of a buy. This is 1 hour CSAK4 from here. Price rejected here, broke the mid BB, broke the EMA 40, and then closed above it. That's a buy. And what happened? Price went up. This was a buy, CSAK for a buy. Price went up once it came back and retested the entry. But so this would have been your entry. Once the price comes back and retests here, that will be your entry to continue buying to probably this place or to probably this point. You know, this is gold, remember, and this can give you plenty money. If you are just even holding from here to here, that's 400 and something pips. So imagine holding from here to here. This was 1,200 pips. You know, so that's it for the buy. So that's it for CSAK4. Now we go to CSAK5. CSAK5. What is CSAK5? Now for CSAK5, this happens. CSAK5 happens when price break top and bottom BB, breaks the top and bottom BB, breaks mid BB and EMA 50. Okay, so this is CSAK5. It happens when price breaks the moving average 5 and 10 high and low, breaks the top and bottom BB, breaks the mid BB and EMA 50. Okay, so let's dive in to see an example of that. Now this is 4 hours still on gold. This is what happened. Price came to the top here. This is the top BB, got a rejection, rejected and came back, closed back inside. What happened next? It rejected again, broke around the high top BB moving average 5 and 10 high, rejected there, came down, broke here as well, moving average 5 and 10 low, broke the middle BB. Let me draw it so that you get a picture of what is happening here. Yep. Broke the mid BB, the black here, the middle one here is my mid BB, broke the EMA 50 and also close. This is a close below the low BB, meaning it's going to, it broke all this, it reacted on all of them at this, at not at the same time but on a stretch, at a stretch. It reacted on all of them at a stretch. So once you see this movement, this is a reversal trend. This is a clean reversal trend. Okay, once you see it on a higher time frame, this is a clean reversal trend. So once price comes back to 4 hours entry, you take yourself. Let's take another example of CSAK5. Let's get another example. Okay, yeah. To take CSAK5, what it does is it will first reject at the top. Let's say you want a sell setup. To first reject at the top extreme BB. This is 4 hours time frame. To first reject at the extreme BB, and then what happens next? It will also have all these rejections at the moving average high BB, breaks it, close below it. As you can see, it broke it, close below it, came back, broke the low, the 5 and 10 low, came in again, broke the mid BB here. After that, came down again, broke the EMA 50 and also closed. Remember, it must close below the low BB. This particular one close below. Even all these ones they close below the BB. Okay, so this is an example of CSAK5. This, the whole of this movement is an example of CSAK5. So once you see this on a higher time frame, 4 hours, daily or weekly, the trend has reversed. The trend has reversed. All you need to do is wait for price to come back to any of these research areas to do this. But before then, price is going to give you a lot of re-entries. This was the first re-entry for 4 hours, came down. Second, third one, so you can keep selling. This was the first re-entry, second one, third one. But the basic thing is, you come to a higher time frame, the daily, and mark a supply zone. Come to the daily and mark a supply zone. This is what happened on the daily. This is a supply zone on the daily. Here. Around here. Or you use your, normally for me I use my Malaysian support and resistance level, which is now I just want to show you CSAK5. So now this is CSAK5. This is CSAK5 on 4 hours because it happened on 4 hours. So let me take it back to 4 hours. So it's a strong reversal trend. It's a strong reversal trend. Okay, this was CSAK5 that happened on 4 hours. And on the daily, if you go one time frame lower, it will show a CSAK4, which is a confirmation that the trend is valid. It will show CSAK4. But for the CSAK to be valid, I'm still going to talk about that. It means it should have a CSM one time frame lower. It should have a CSM one time frame lower. So what I'm really looking at here. So here there are two things you look out for. Here you have price came, still came below this. We rejected here. CSAK4 happened here on the daily. That's what happened. It rejected at So for it to be invalid, you are not going to see a CSM. If you see a CSM, one time frame lower is valid. But if what you are seeing is an extreme, one time frame lower, higher, lower, and or you are seeing MHV, one time frame lower, then that CSK is invalid. It's likely going to fail. It's likely going to fail. Okay, so as I'm talking to you, I'm not feeling so good, so I may have to stop here. Okay, I would have loved to show an example. Let me check if I see any of them, but just have that at the back of your mind. If you see a CSAK, one time frame higher, this is 4 hours. Okay, so we know what CSAK means. Price would have broken the lead and closed above it. Okay, so let's assume this is an example. Yeah, and then you're waiting for price to come for a entry, which is here, and then continue going up, but it's there, it didn't go. So let's see what happened here. So you go one time frame lower. You can see going one time frame lower, what did we have? We had an extreme on 1 hour. We had an extreme on 1 hour. This is not a breakout. A CSM is basically a breakout. This is not a breakout. The price was still around here. So we had a CSM. So that made the CSAK on 4 hours to be invalid. Despite the fact that price pulled up a little, but then again it was still invalid. Price, you expected price to, since it created a CSAK, expected price to continue going up. But what happened? It had an extreme here. It had an extreme here on 1 hour. Okay, it had an extreme there on 1 hour, and as such, even though it pulled up a little, it still sold up. So that was what made that CSAK to be invalid. Okay, so that's it for today. So mastering CSAK is not about memorizing patterns, it's about understanding the market thinking. Okay, so once you can filter out what is valid and invalid CSAK setup, your trading becomes much more precise. Okay, so thank you for your time and have a good day.